All right, so we're going to work on taking out the transmission here today so we can drain it, put in a new clutch, and we start here on the inside, removing the shifter bezel. This was down flat. I just wanted to make sure I did it correctly and didn't destroy it before showing you guys. But I just got a flathead screwdriver, set it in between these bezel pieces here, gently pry upward. I cannot get this to remove right now, so I really hope the previous owner didn't Loctite it or something, thread lock it. So we're under it. There's another rubber boot. And now I'm going to try to work at removing the shifter lever here, and there should be a clip there that I can push off or pry off, and then the shifter lever will come up. Shifter is out. Shifter with the bezel. I guess you don't have to remove it all. All right, so this pin here will end up going through the shifter and those two forks there, and there was a C-clip that goes on the end of that pin there, and I think I lost it under the car somewhere, so when I lift it up, hopefully I'll find it. Otherwise I'll go source a new one. All right, we're here under the car now, and we're going to start by draining the fluid of the transmission. There's a bung right here, 1/2-inch socket. I'll go ahead and get this started. I got my pan down below, and we'll see if I can do this without just making a complete mess. Oh boy, this is going to be a mother. Oh, so that's how it's going to be, huh? Might be hammer time. I'm trying not to waller that damn thing out, which it's already doing. Oh yeah, there it goes. Glad I was recording that. All right, now time to spill over myself. Let's get out the little socket nub I don't care about and finish this. I'm feeling this go all over. Make sure I don't touch that bung because it's still probably red hot. There we go. You know, that fluid doesn't look too terrible. It's been sitting for, I don't know, 25, 30 years, something like that. Still reeks like transmission fluid should. Gross. Let's bring this pan down and let it finish draining. It's got a little bit of shavings, but the fluid itself doesn't look terrible. Plug is out. It's getting drained. Next, some of the electrical connections. So this one here is pretty straightforward. You pinch it, you pop it out. Some of these others can be a little bit more of a pain, so let's see if we can do this without breaking any connections. Try to clean it off a little so I can see where the actual tab is at. And you want to get a small flathead, insert it from the back side and lift the tab just a little. There we go. Gently pull. See if we can get a better look at that. So there's the tab. You want to get underneath that because there's a center punch right there that holds it in. I think this one does it the same way. It's amazing how this one's so clean compared to the other. I'm pretty sure on my first S12 I just cut these off because I didn't care for it and I was doing the KA swap. Stupid mistake. we go. Just get a little separation in there. And there's our wiring harness. And then we will try to get out the Speedo cable next. And I am sitting down. This is pretty nice, being able to sit out of the car in a chair and just work overhead. I could probably bring it a little lower, make it less of a reach for my hands. All right, we're gonna try to get the Speedo cable out. There is what looks to be a 10mm bolt. It does have a Phillips head on it as well. There we go. I think this is just locking the Speedo cable on. All right, so there's the 10. Yeah, there we go. There's a little locking clip there. Just use some locks. Yeah, that's smooth. All right. Oh, more fluid. Move my pan over. Just try not to get on the camera or myself. And there we go. There's the Speedo cable. We're going to try to remove the prop shaft here. And the carrier bearing looks to be two 19mm nuts on studs. 17. All right, I'm going to put a nut back in this, keep it up, and then we're going to move to the differential and move it there too. There we go. I'll just hold it up just for safety so I don't get clubbed in the head. All right. Ugh. All right, so what do you think? 12mm on those? All right, let me grab some sort of wrench and we'll find out if we can get those broken loose. I think I can probably go straight through there to get them. Let's find out. All right, so what I've managed to do is put a flathead through the U-joint of the prop shaft, drive shaft, whatever you want to call it, wherever you're at. That helps me get a grip on it, or I can just use it to leverage against the chassis. And then I can put a 12mm wrench up in here. There we go. And get it on these nuts and break them loose and then start to spin them off. So I'm going to try to get through these 4 and I'll come back. All right, so a little tell that somebody's been down here before is, if I can get it to focus in there, is the first one of these I took off. Focus you. All right, so the first one of these nuts I took off the prop shaft was a 12mm nut. And now, if I can find it, we're using a 14. So somebody has replaced this with the wrong nut. So I think these are all 14. Somebody replaced a 12 in there. All right, I've managed to get these 4 bolts or nuts off over here. Let's see, the prop shaft comes right off. And then we'll go ahead and drop these 2 right here. And this should all come down and we'll be free to continue on the transmission. All right, make sure that's not hooked on the parking brake. Oh, the spring is piercing my glove right now. There we go. Shafted. So we have access to our transmission now. The only thing left that's attached is the clutch slave cylinder. There we go, it's up there. We'll go ahead and get that removed, and then I will start removing, oh boy, I don't know. I don't know if I want to drop it back here or start taking out engine bolts. Let me think this over a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and remove the clutch operating cylinder or slave cylinder, depending on where you're at. So 14 millimeter sockets. And just hang that out of the way. I'll put the bolts back in place so I don't lose them. I didn't destroy these threads already. They're all gunked up. I might end up getting a tap set out for these. All right, so I think most of these should be 14 millimeter heads. Man, I think I'm just gonna get a wrench and start cracking. It's been a few days since I've been down here trying to get this thing out. Just haven't had too much personal time lately, so we're back at it. I think I've got all the lower bolts out of the transmission, and now I think there's 2 or 3 up top. That also includes the starter. So what I'm going to try to do now, I've got the car lowered quite a bit, closer to the ground. I'm going to put my jack under the rear of the transmission, and then we're going to try to like tilt it down so I can get up above and put my impact up there and try to get some of these bolts out. Let's see how this goes. Are we gonna reach it? Oh, we're gonna be close. Oh yeah. 17 millimeter. And I'm just gonna use the impact. Go. Slowly lower this. Let's see if we can get a little angle here. Yeah, that clears. Is there something I'm missing? It's still connected to something. I moved the exhaust and oh, maybe it's just, I mean, the exhaust is connected to the engine, so all right. Well, there's nothing there anymore. Is that as far as it goes? I can give it a little pull. All right, well, I'm gonna leave this here as a just in case, and I'm gonna get behind the transmission, see if I can go back up that way. Like I see one bolt here I can get a hold of. Let me see if I can get a wrench on that. That's such a narrow berth. I'm trying to break my Speedo cable. There's one. I'm down here in the transmission. I got the top 2 bolts taken out. There is one more low front that I'm going to take out, but I'm going to support this a little bit better first. I'm going to put at least a bolt in back on the cross member. That way it holds the rear end up. I'm going to move the jack forward, get a little bit more balance on this. Yeah, remove the front bolt, remove the cross member bolt, and then we're going to try to pull it back and lower it using just my handy dandy jack. So we have our jack here in the middle. I can already see there's separation up top, like the transmission wants to come out. Man, it wants to come out. I don't know if it's stuck on that pilot bushing or what. How heavy is this? I might just, like I said, bench press this thing out. There we go. We're completely off. I'm stuck on the exhaust. Come on, why you gotta be like this? All right, we have my legs. There we go. Transmission's out, it's just stuck on the exhaust. My camera work sucks, there we go. So let me lift that up a little, get it out of here. Bam! And it looks like we had some creatures living in here. Nuts and seeds and shells. All right. So I can't really tell too much from here, but we'll get that all torn off here shortly. Otherwise, that pressure plate looks in decent condition. Can't wait to see what's up. All right, with the transmission out, let's get underneath the car and take a look at how that clutch is looking. All right, we're standing up now. It's nice to be able to work on my feet and not laying under this thing, so let me find the right size tools and let's get to it. There goes a washer. There goes another washer. Some basic. Oh, well, if that clutch was good, it's not anymore. And the flywheel's not too bad. There's really not any scarring. It's got like a little bit of heat spots, and like that's probably just from sitting for 25 years. Like if this thing had actually ran and had some engagement, I would have cleaned up just fine. Like I might actually keep this, just in case. There's actually plenty of meat on there. It's not excessively just like erect on any given point. Yeah, this is really good condition. And same with the pressure plate. Like there's not any scarring. It's just a little rusty. And that's not bad. No, this is a good clutch. I'm going to hang on to this. Before I get to the new clutch and flywheel, I guess I should get this one taken off. And I think that this is a 14 millimeter. So yeah, I'll get the impact and let's zip these and pop it off. All right, let's see if this will come up nicely or if I got to give it some. Oh, look at that. Came off nice and clean. All right. I've decided to stop the video at this point. We're about 20 minutes in. Stay tuned for the next episode where we install it all again and hopefully get this car running soon. Thanks for watching.